Okay, so now to start the mafia section.
Okay.
Because you've told me stories and I want to hear them again.
Okay.
So have you ever had a run-in with the mafia?
Okay, I have not had direct run-in with the mafia. However, do you want me to tell our story?
I have a few questions. What was your experience?
I have not directly run into the mafia. I know I've seen the mafia guys walking around in New York City, but I did not
No conflict
interact
there.
with them.
So how did that affect you knowing when you were young that those were mafia?
It never bothered me for some reason. I guess because my family was so comfortable, because my uncle and my aunt, my father grew up on the same streets that they grew up on when they were young. So it never affected me much.
So what's the most interesting experience that you've had with members of the mafia?
Okay, there are a couple. So the first one, and not directly, okay, I did not talk to them personally. The first one was my uncle when he was young, and he's been gone many, many, many years. He'd probably be 100 right now, maybe older. When he was a young man, he was walking around the streets of New York, and one of the mafia guys was running away from the cops, and he was holding a bag of dope. And he took the dope and he gave it to Louie, and he said, "Louie, hang on to this for me. We'll take care of you." Well, Louie hung on to it. He got caught. He never squealed. You don't want to do that.
Mm-mm.
Never squealed.
No.
He went to jail, but then they let him out so he can join the army. And he always had very lucrative plumbing contracts in New York City. The second one was when my uncle, this uncle I'm talking about, passed away. These big limousines pulled up in front of the funeral home. This is on the streets of Greenwich Village. These guys in suits got out, and one of them said to my aunt, "Now, I don't want you to do anything with your property till you talk to me first." Okay, fine. And I asked my cousin, I said, "How do you know who the gangsters are and who the good guys are?" And she said to me, "The gangsters always wore a suit, but they never had a job."
Oh, that's really funny. Do you or your family did they ever feel like they experienced that mob-like stereotype that prevented Italian Americans from getting jobs sometimes?
No, not where we lived.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why do you think that is?
Because they were all together. They were neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
They knew each other. My uncle, the one that passed away that I told you about with the bag of dope, he grew up on the streets with Vito Genovese and Gambino and Lucky Luciano. They all were the same age. They all went to school together. So there was absolutely no conflict there. And then, of course, they're all passed on now. And now, I don't know what the mafia's doing. And I don't want to know either.
You don't want to relive that part of your
Absolutely not.